Welcome to the Cool Fireman Podcast, a virtual firehouse kitchen table with What's a Rolfie, Unky, Fireman 1231,
East Coast Kellys,
JDB Cubed, and Fireman Freddy. Let's get to the show.
I gotta behave.
Oh my God,
Tom,
Matt's... it's been so long. We haven't put a podcast out in like 14 weeks.
Really? And you are you're the relaunch now.
He's the relaunch. His name is Tom.
This is Matt's new favorite thing is there is no intro. We're just talking at the end of the intro. So here we are. Welcome back. Tom. We're with Tom from the Burn Box. If you haven't heard about the Burn Box, then you're living under a rock because this thing is killing it. And he'll get into it more because he's got like 3 or 4 other ventures that he's working on. But just to start right off, let's meet Tom and tell us about yourself.
Who are you, Thomas?
What's up? What's going on, guys? My name is Thomas. I'm a New York City firefighter. I've been a firefighter. Yeah, what do I do with my hands?
I love it. You're doing the perfect.
I don't know. I know you guys are on Spotify and stuff, but no one can see what I'm doing with my hands. But yeah, my name is Thomas. I'm a New York City firefighter. For a little over 10 years, I've been a firefighter. I was an EMT for about 5 years before that. And I don't know. Right now, I run the firefighter subscription, the Burn Box. I have a couple other things. I got a beautiful wife, 3 lovely boys, and I'm just kind of like trying to make it work. I'll be honest with you. I'm the regular dude just trying to make it work, man. I'm sure when we get into it, you're going to hear how much chaos my life is. But, I'm happy to be here, and it's nice to meet you guys.
Welcome to Regular Dude Podcast. Like, this is, you have not landed very far off.
Yeah, I got to say that because some of the emails I get, people think I'm like Walmart, like I'm this huge company. It's me, my wife, and you got people packing boxes. That's it. People are like, oh, man. But, I do my best, I'm having fun.
That is rad. I love it. Thomas, I've heard all about you. Through Freddie. Freddie does his monthly things. He pulls things out of the Burn Box, and I've got Jelly over time. I need to subscribe. I haven't done it yet. Shame on me.
Don't be jealous.
It is hit myself. But that's how. So you're a New York City fireman, huh?
Yeah. When I was 18, I decided with my older brother. He became an EMT, and I listened to your podcast a few times, like some of the earlier ones. So it's kind of similar to everyone else. Like school's never been my thing. So take it a step back. It was high school, so I wasn't good in high school. I was shy about 10 credits, and they had this program where you can get your EMT card and get your EMT card and your diploma. So when I was 17, I got into that program, and once you complete it, the FDNY ran it. And once you complete it, you go right into the FDNY as an EMT. So I did that. It was a tough program. You had to keep a good score for your grades and stuff, or they kick you out if you missed too many days. They kicked you out. It was pretty tough, but I was a high school kid. It felt tough at the time, but right. Then I became a EMT. I did that for 5 years. When I became an EMT, a lot of the guys I worked with. So in New York, in order to become a firefighter, there's 2 ways. You could either promote. If you're already a FDNY EMT or a paramedic, you could promote to be a firefighter. Or, you could take the open competitive with everyone else. But if you take the promotion, you obviously could put on a shorter list. So everyone I was working with at the time, they were all getting ready for it. It was like that promotional test. And that's when I really learned about, the fire suppression side. And, it sounded like a fun job. So when the opportunity came, I took it. And I've been doing it for a little over 10 years now.
Okay.
So Tom, let me ask you: do you feel like, and I think I am trying to lead you to an answer, but do you feel like that EMT program, in high school, kind of saved you from going down a bad path and maybe eventually, dropping out of high school? It kind of did pull you back in and get you where you wanted to go, maybe.
That's exactly what happened, man.
Yeah.
I have a big family, but no one's like into gangbanging or anything like that. So I don't know if I would have gotten to that stuff, but I was a knucklehead, man. You couldn't tell me what to do. I was a knucklehead, but I didn't have any plans really. I know I kind of like business. Like the high school I went to, we had like a business course in it. So I know I like business, but if it wasn't for that EMT program, I don't know where I'd be. It's probably the best thing I've done, definitely.
And,
right,
and there's a lot of sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Well, I was just going to say, so the chief in me's got like a two-part question. Number one, Tom.
Who invited the chief?
Oh my gosh! Get the white shirt out of here.
I didn't put on my tie.
So we've got three parts here. First part.
Brian, take 2 seconds. Hold on. For those of you who weren't listening, we had Brian on the show a couple weeks ago, as a unit, as a group, and because he is basically all of our friends and we text him anyway, we would like to welcome Brian as a more permanent member of the Cool Fireman Podcast.
We're our new co-host.
Now jump in, ask your questions, Chief.
Right. Well, the reason why we brought him on board because he's complained about no podcast. So we brought him on board to sweeten the deal, and so he can stop getting those text messages because he was sending them out to the point he's like, "Hey, I'm giving you a direct order. You need to do it." He started pulling out some bugles, threatening to write us up. We don't work.
He said, is this loud enough or do I need to turn it up for you?
So Matt, being the new captain on probation, didn't want to get in trouble. He's like, "Hey, let's bring him on."
Dude, I got like a carrier. He came, I had to sign for it, and I opened it up and it was a write-up. I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, whoa.
First strike as a captain.
Damn,
whatever it takes to get episodes out, right? Like whatever.
Please.
So real quick, Tom, it's a two-part question. When you tested to get on FDNY, either in the EMT program or like through promoting up, I'm sure there was some exams. How many was that back? I mean, we think FDNY. I know Big City Doug's not here to jab us about how big that is, but FDNY has got to be huge, right? And then how is that compared to now? Recruitment and retention is such a big deal across the fire service as a whole, especially post-COVID. So what did it look like then, and what does it look like now for you at FDNY?
Oh, all right. Yeah, so back then it was a little, for me, it was different because, again, I was an 18-year-old kid and I was in a program, so it wasn't like your traditional, onboarding process. So, but, for example, the promotional test I took, so they ran the promotional exam and they had an open competitive to the public. And I think it was like almost 100,000 applicants. And that was back in 2012. No, that wasn't when I took the test. But it was like maybe,
100,000?
It was like 100.
I was going to say, it doesn't matter when it was. The sheer fact to have 100,000 is
that's crazy.
I mean, I was testing for Los Angeles City. And I mean, I'm not here to compare anybody. I'm just saying, I mean, I'm on the West Coast. And when I was first trying to get a job, I was testing with everybody. And LA County, Los Angeles County, Los Angeles City, Orange County. I think they said that they may have like 6,000. You're talking 100. I mean, how did they even test 100,000 people?
Maybe it was a little less. I know it was definitely maybe 80 to 100, still a lot, but
still, yeah.
They have a DCAS. It's like it's a company, state company that kind of runs all the testings and promotions and for all the city jobs. And that's kind of how they do it. And remember that I don't know if you guys know, but the FDNY only has a test once every 4 years.
Mm.
So it's once every 4 years.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. So what does it look like now? Like, what does that look like now? With FDNY and just the with the change post COVID and just society as a whole. I think just trades in general, right? Like the workforce looks different. I know Brent can probably, or Freddie can probably mention this. The academy. When I first started teaching the academy 12, 15 years ago, the academy cadets then are different than they are today. So, what would you say your pool of applicants are today compared to back then?
Okay, so first, it's tough because with COVID, it kind of backlogged us. So now we're losing weight. Like we do 3 classes a year, 300 people a pop, but that's not even a drop in the bucket compared to how many people are retiring and leaving. So it's COVID's definitely messed with manpower because we're having a hard time catching up. Because we're short staffed now, a lot of people are doing a lot of overtime, getting their numbers up, getting it in. They're ready to retire, because their numbers look good. But that's how it is now. We're cranking out classes left and right, and we're still not catching up. People get promoted to lieutenant. That's also draining the ranks. But back then, my class was actually the first. They had a hiring freeze. There was a lawsuit, diversity lawsuit, a couple years back, and there was a hiring freeze for 5 years. So while I was on EMT, that was going on. So that when I got hired, that class I was telling you about, all my friends were taking the test. That was like the last class before the freeze, and then that was the first when it reopened.
Okay.
Side note: when you promote, you get put on a shorter list, right? I think I said that already. So, luckily enough, I was like list 48 of that, so I was in the first class of that. But back then, they had the hiring freeze, and that also contributed to us being so backlogged. Like I don't think we've caught up from that yet. 5 years of not hiring at all, and that kind of sucks. Also for people like if you wanted to be a firefighter, and you aged out because that hiring freeze might have messed you up. I feel bad for a lot of people that hiring freeze kind of screwed over. But that was the first class, and I don't think we've caught up yet. And as far as the manpower and everything goes, like nowadays they have a full diversity, team, and they're pushing really, really hard for diversity, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But as far as recruitment and diversity, that stuff it's huge in my department right now.
So how many uniformed personnel do you guys have like right now? Do you know? Is that a number that you know?
I'm gonna throw a number out there. I want to say like I don't know. I want to say I'm gonna sound like a clown saying it. I can't remember.
As he Googles it.
Yeah.
I guess maybe the better question is, do you know how many you guys are down?
No, I don't know. I don't know. But
that's
I know,
even a harder question. Like, how would you know that question, Freddie?
Can I buy a vowel?
I guess where I'm at is like a lot of times that's the talk across the kitchen table is like, hey man, we're browning out 10 engines a day. We really need to hire 500 more people to get our staffing back up or something like that. We're browning out trucks. We're browning out squads. What have you. Oh no, we ain't. No, this is it's New York City, man. We're not shutting. No companies are shutting down at all. And it gets rough during the summertime. That's guys get hurt and stuff like that. But no, we're not shutting down. It's not that bad, but there is a lot of overtime out there. So guys are making it work. Guys aren't really complaining too much with the overtime, but we're not that bad. We're shutting down companies. I mean, that's reassuring at the very least. I
mean, I know a couple of guys who've worked at FDNY, and there's a different level of pride at FDNY than any other organization that I've ever experienced. I took some classes at NFA with those folks, and it's just unique. Like, and I don't know, Tom, maybe it was, I wouldn't like to think that it was a front that those folks showed me when I was at those classes, but like, it was literally one of those things where, yeah, Mando probably stunk, but like you said, just like you said, it's like, we're not shutting that down. That's not happening. It's not a negotiable thing. Like, we're going to have coverage and the city's going to be protected. Do you think that that's kind of the mentality of the force across the whole city?
That's definitely a big part of it. That's definitely a big part of it. I can speak for my firehouse. Like, I know, like, whenever it's like storms or whenever, like, we had issues with COVID and stuff like that, they took pride in saying, hey, we're covering our company. We're making sure our company's covered. So that's definitely a big part of it. And also another part of it is the city's not letting anyone, the city's not. Like, if a firehouse closes down, that neighborhood will complain so much. Like, they won't let that happen,
How many stations are you guys?
I think there's like 300 and something. Oh, how many stations? I don't know.
So like if you get mandatoried, like let's say you're working. What's your guys? Wait, let me back up. What's your guys' schedule?
Oh, so it's like a 2 on, 2 off schedule.
Okay.
It's a 25. It's a group chart, so
Okay.
it's kind of confusing to explain. But you got 2 on, 2 off, 2 on, 3 off, kind of like that. It's not
Okay.
really. I don't look at it as days off. It's kind of like hours, but
So you
that's how
guys
it
go
is.
to work for 48 hours.
No, so we have day shifts and night shifts. On average, the way it works is you have a mutual partner, and the way it works out when you do mutuals, it's usually like you do a 24, then you're off like 2, 24, you're off like 3, kind of like that when you're with your mutual partner. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
You
Well,
work about
I guess.
8. If you're doing 24s, you do eight shifts, 8 24s a month.
Like if somebody calls in sick or you have an opening, there's an open firefighter spot on an engine, truck, whatever it is, and they're like, hey, well, you need to work tomorrow, and they mandatory you. I mean, I'm sure you guys get mandatoried, right? Or forced. We call them forces. I mean, do they just force you within like a battalion so that you're not driving like an hour to the next station?
So they try within reason, within reason, but you know how it is, man. It's for whatever the needs of the department, right? If they can, they'll try. Everyone tries to cover their own battalion and area, but a lot of places like the Bronx and Manhattan, those places are notoriously like low. There
Sure.
was like last summer, there's guys who spent 3 days. Well, they're not supposed to, but there was just no relief. They're doing 3 shifts in a row and stuff like that.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
And like say if they're short in Staten Island, I work in Brooklyn. If they need a body's a body. You go to your station, you get your gear, go to your firehouse, get your stuff, and then you head over there.
And
Body's a body.
do you have to be qualified to work on like a squad or like, is there different, like, I don't know, I have like so many questions. I don't even know where to
Uh,
start.
so, once you get out the academy, you could work in an engine or a truck, a ladder, a truck, whatever.
Okay.
You can work either or. As far as squad goes, because you got to take like hazmat training and stuff like that, like squads and rescues, you can't just work in those companies. I mean, you can, but now I think about it, you can, but it's very, very, very rare. Like they have to be really, really short staffed.
Right.
But aside from that, no, you can work anywhere. A body's a body.
Yeah.
They train you on engine ops and truck ops in the academy. So when you get out, even though you're assigned to a truck, you could work in an engine any day. If they're over, vice versa. But squads and rescues, there's a lot of classes and stuff you got to take. So usually, within squads and rescues, they kind of share amongst each other. Like I'm in a squad now, so I can work in a rescue or a squad. But you don't really go out too much when you're in special operation.
I had a handful of questions, but you just kind of answered them. Brooklyn, you're on a squad. So that kind of leads me down to the more sillier ones. Especially now you're a squad. Like what are your responsibilities of your squad? Is it like the rescue or?
Also, so squads and rescues are kind of started for different reasons, but like being in a squad, you're kind of like your job is to fill in the gaps. So if it's a 4-story building, first dude's on the first floor, second dude's on the floor above, who's checking 3, 4, you know what I mean? So like we kind of like fill in the gaps, like we get there, whatever the chief needs, is kind of what we fill in the gaps. Rescues are really mainly there for, they do a lot of other stuff, but they're kind of there, to save firemen, but, that's kind of responsibility of a squad. In your first stew response area, you operate as a regular engine, but if there's a fire, so where I work in Brooklyn, there's 2 squads. So we have half the borough, and I'm in squad 1. And we have half the borough, and squad 252 has the other half of Brooklyn. So any fires, on our side, we respond to, and we kind of just help out. And again, we're a manpower pool. We kind of just fill in the gaps. That's kind of the goal. Solve problems. That's really what we're there for. But we also have hazmat training. With it, we do hazmat runs. We have a second piece for collapse, confined space, all the extra stuff, that a regular unit wouldn't be able to handle. We kind of.
So like without me Googling it, because you're also popular, what kind of vehicle chassis is it? Is it kind of like the rescues?
No, so we have like it's an engine.
Okay.
We're an engine, and a squad. The rescues are they're a big old toolbox, but Yeah, because we operate as an engine on our first due response area. So.
Right.
Okay.
Nice.
And these ones you don't have to answer because it would be airing a little dirty laundry, maybe. So, it has to do with y'all's relationship with the police department. Okay. One, I was a fan of Rescue Me certain seasons. Well, they showed in there and I've heard guys talk about fights with police. I'm kind of cute. Look at that smile. Curious if there's any truth to that. Because Mr. Leary states that these are all stories that he's heard from friends. And well, do you know what I'm talking about? That scene maybe from Rescue Me where they start calling everybody on the radio and everybody's meeting up in front of the house. So what you got to say for that?
Two things. Rescue Me is based loosely on my life. If you didn't know that.
Which one are you?
Well, no, we got an awesome relationship with NYPD. It's much respect. A lot of us are, families over there. It's a thankless job they got over there. It's tough times now. We have an awesome relationship. It may not look like that if you see the NYPD, FDNY, hockey game. It doesn't look like that, but we got a great relationship with them. Only thing I would say is kind of gets dicey with ESD. ESD will be, a lot of the times, they're there on pins. When we go to pins, they're there. If there's a man under a train, they're there, and we're all kind of trying to race to get the job done, and that's where it gets kind of dicey. But aside from that, we got a great relationship with NYPD.
Okay, it's kind of like an expansion of the Firehouse. I don't know, y'all could probably throw punches and everything be okay, and that's kind of like with y'all, just an expansion of the Firehouse. Y'all are brothers and sisters, but y'all might throw some bows at each other.
Yeah, I mean,
you gotta work it out.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I haven't seen that stuff happen, but it's rare and it's not a thing.
Yeah.
It'll just be like a clash of personalities. Maybe this guy and this guy are trying to get in the same spot, and they bump heads, and then everyone has their guys back, but no one's it'll be a big administrative nightmare if we get into blows in the street.
Yeah, the public's here. I've seen videos
with cell
of
phones.
the ESU units. There's this, I guess you'd say, a popular video. It was a green car that ran over somebody. And I don't know if you ever saw it. FD, fire department shows up, and PD shows up, and the ESU. I can't remember which one it was. Police would put chalks under it to start jacking it up. Fire's pulling it out and trying to shove theirs in. Police is pulling theirs out. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I mean, let's get that person out. I mean, let him chalk it, him wedge it, and you just throw your tool under there and get the save.
How old is that video? That's FDNY, NYPD?
Yeah, that was
it's like etiquette.
ESU.
It's etiquette. If we get there and they're operating on one side of the car, we kind of go to the other side. We wouldn't I don't know, maybe that's how they did it. Maybe it depends on the borough, man. It's different.
True. It was an older gentleman pulling it off, so he's probably a really salty kind of person.
Different era,
Yeah, probably a Harlem guy. So Harlem era, the Harlem era guy.
Hey, Freddie, can I chime in with a question, a burn box question?
I was gonna flip over to Burn Box and see if you wanted to talk to it. So yeah, jump in.
Yeah, so I got a question. Where did the name come from? I want to know the history of the name, if you have one, or was that just a Google search or something like that, right? Was it all about just catchy AI work or what, something like that?
No, actually, so I was fire to the left of me, fire to the
That's good.
No,
you had my attention.
Burning desire inside of me. No, it's just when you're in the fire academy, I guess you have that flash over simulator. You guys, it's like the shipping container. You go in there and you're lower than the fire. It shows you how it rolls over and stuff. Just that was nicknamed the burn box in our fire academy. So that kind of guys go there every year. You have training education day, and you go in the burn box for I don't know why they made us do it every year. You go, you're sitting there, and you do it again. I was just familiar with the burn box, and when I was going through names, it's just oh, it's a box. Burn box, it kind of stuck. So There was another burn box out there. There's one for like people who smoke marijuana. So it's like a burn. There's already burn box out.
I thought that was called the hot box.
No.
But it is amazing how something so catchy like that can grab the attention of firefighters all across the country, right? Like, I mean, I would assume, and this is kind of a question, your market is big enough to where, I mean, it is. It's probably nationwide at this point, right? Like you're shipping everywhere?
Yeah, I'm shipping everywhere. We got about 2,200 subscribers right now. I don't compared to a lot of these companies, I'm still very, very small. But we're a niche, right? So it's we're a niche. We're not like a dog subscription because there's dog lovers everywhere. There's not that many firefighters across, not as much as that market. But I can go into a little bit of how it started if you guys want.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. What made you want to jump into it?
So when I got to my first firehouse, I got there. You guys know. So this is cool. This is what's cool about being on the podcast. You guys are, fellow firemen, so you guys get it. Firefighters are like the most creative bunch of people. Like we have tools on our rig that guys just make at the workbench, like, whether it's a different type of hydrant plug or whatever kind of item they need for your neighborhood. Like guys are always coming up with stuff. And you guys ever see that Halligan bottle opener?
Yeah.
A guy in my firehouse, that's his company. Another guy has a fabrication company. I don't know. It just got me thinking. I just went on Instagram. I searched firefighter owned, and so many different tools came up. I saw a lot of tools, like, plenty of guys doing wedges, guys doing mugs, guys doing T-shirts, guys doing hats. So I thought it'd be really cool if I could kind of like combine all that together, package it up, and ship it out. That's kind of the goal. I thought if I got 10,000 subscribers one day and you're making a tool in your garage and I can get that out to 10,000 people to help you blow up, I thought that'd be really cool. So that's kind of what started it.
Yeah, that's really cool business model because you don't have to come up with a single product to sell. That's kind of a giant promotional piece. And it helps out so many people, and that's a really cool business model.
Well, and
it really goes.
Go ahead, Freddie. I think you were going to say exactly what I was going to say, so you go ahead.
And it really goes to show that all of us on here, and I've said it multiple times, me especially, like I'm very blessed that I fell into the following that I have, which has obviously shifted with my change in departments, but all of us are very focused on how can we help out our fellow brothers and sisters that are on the line, that are out there doing it. And we talk about products on here all the time. Brian does it, Unky does it, Matt does it, Big City Doug does it. I mean, shit. Nick's got 19 million followers. It's got to be
Billy McMays.
Yeah, but where we're at is it's such a cool community to be able to not have to force yourself to say, how can I help out my brother make his product better? And how can I help him sell more stuff where you're not even worried about you? Like, Tom, you just said, how can I take all these firefighter products and get them out to people? Like, you basically wanted to be a distribution for your brothers and sisters. And that's to me, that's so cool. It's noble, and it's impressive to me, is what I'm trying to, I guess, get across.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was going to say is how cool is it, like, for a lot of our channels where we want to support fellow firefighters. I mean, even in the Firehouse, if you think about it, like when I built my house, I was like, all right, let me get one of the guys at the Firehouse who paints. Let me get one of the guys at the Firehouse who's an electrician. Let me get, whatever, because I wanted to help them. I could have gotten any business around to do it, but there was a certain sense of trust too, right? Like, so if you could find someone that, is in service with you, that is going to give you a great product, regardless of whether it's a cool firefighter product. That's the niche that you have, Tom, is you've got firefighter products, but like whether it be seasoning like Adam has, or coffee like First In Last Out, or whatever, any of these other products, it's like, man, if I can get him or her a couple of bucks in their extra pocket, the reality of it is nobody's in the fire service to make a $1 million, right? But they've also started these companies to just help support the work that they want to do. So how cool is that? My follow-up question, I guess, would be is, have you had one box or one product that people just blew you up over since you started these boxes? Like where they got the box and they were like, oh, I love that. I love that one item that was in that box.
Oh, I thought you meant like blew me up like in the other way, like they were
unhappy. No. We won't ask about that. I mean, if you did, I mean, you can maybe say that, but I don't think you want to throw anybody underneath the bus.
I'll talk about it. I know they're listening. No, you know what? It's hard, man, because a lot of people, I'm not gonna lie, every month I ship a box out, I'm like, I hope they like it. I hope they like it. I hope they like it, you know? And not many people, I don't know what it is, or maybe I'm bad at it. Not many people reach out saying, oh, this is great. So I have no idea what if people are having a good time, or if they liking it or not. That's why when I spoke to you guys earlier, kind of before we, started the podcast, I was kind of like, what do you think? Because a lot of people don't really say it too much. But I wouldn't say there's one particular item, but I would say I take the most joy in helping somebody. Like, I hope it's the firefighter owned products. Not everything is firefighter owned, but there's a lot of people who just helping people when they just starting out, and I'm able to help get them that exposure. That's what I'm most happy about. But is there one product that I think everyone? I mean, I don't know. I think it's all kind of. I don't know, Freddie. You would know, right? What do you think?
I tell you what, I love it when there's a tool in there, and it's not just like your average tool. Like, oh, here's a knife, and while the knives are awesome, but like we just got that Fat Ivan that you had in, I think it was 2 boxes ago. I tell you what, that wooden wedge came out of my pocket, and that Fat Ivan is in my bunker pocket right now. Dude, I love that. And we prop doors in my city a lot because, unfortunately, we get a lot of careless cooks is the majority of our like fire alarm calls. So we run our vent fan quite a bit. And that Fat Ivan, I've used it like 2 or 3 times already. Just it holds the door open. You get that vent fan, and it causes no damage. The little tool things are awesome, I think.
If I could take a step back, I don't think maybe people haven't heard what the burn box is, so shame on me. But so basically, for anyone listening who doesn't know what the burn box is, it's a monthly subscription. Every month, I curate a bunch of firefighter-owned products. I try to make sure at least one or two are firefighter-owned. It's really tough, but the more I grow, it's getting harder. But every month, You're going to get a tool that you could actually use. You're going to get a piece of apparel. It could be a T-shirt. It could be a hat. It could be a belt. We've done gear like we've done fire hoods. We've done SCBA bags. Again, we did tools like we've done knives. We've done hose straps. We've done multi-tools. I try to make something that you could actually use, and you get a couple other support items. But the goal is every time you get a box, there's going to be something in there you could use if it's a tool or a piece of gear. And again, it's all about discovery, right? So maybe it's a guy making a tool you never heard before. He's in Iowa. He makes this thing in his garage. Or there's a guy running his own firefighter-owned company, apparel company, and he makes pretty cool T-shirts. Like I try to make it balanced, and it's not going to be. I probably shouldn't say this, but it's not going to be a whole kitchen sink. You open a box and it's full of stuff. Like you guys are in the fire service. You guys know a good knife is $60, $80. A good pair of gloves is $80. So a lot of our gear is expensive, but the box is about $55 to $60. So I try to make it work as best I can. So that's a little about it.
For about, I don't know, maybe, what do you say, for maybe about 2 years I've been part of it, maybe almost. Yeah, for 2 years. It's been a good while, and so it's a lot of tools. But I feel like the majority of the boxes are slam packed full of goodies. Yeah, there might be, like you're saying, 1 or 2 boxes here and there, but it's higher quality. It's a more significant tool or something like that. I love the shirts. I'm at a small department. So we don't do as much. I work for the federal government. So I got a list, a bunch of tools. I share with my brother. He's with the city here locally. So he's a very busy engine company. So I share the tools in it with him. Like I get extras of, or I won't be able to use in my department. My favorite one, I think, is the Fort Lauderdale one. You got a coin, the shirt, the shark, the knife, the dive knife, and the dive light. And I had the dive light in my truck on the side because I don't dive, but it's a fantastic light to have in the truck and everything. I think it's bright. I live out in the middle of nowhere, so it's dark.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. See, it's good. It's good to hear what people think.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and that's a good lead in that box, particularly with the coin and the patch, because with this burn box endeavor that you have, you kind of have an offshoot of it, the FD Collectors Club. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Oh yeah. So I got the bug, right? So I started the burn box, and every month it's a tool, and I just started thinking, what if you're a retired firefighter? What if you're just your brother's a firefighter, or you just love watching rigs fly down the street? You love visiting firehouses. Like if you sign up for the burn box, it's a good way to support. Yes, but what are you going to do with all these tools if you're not a firefighter? So I thought it'd be really cool if I could partner with local firehouses. I call them up, I work out a deal, I get some patches and coins, and I basically do all the legwork. And each month, when you sign up to the FD Collectors Club, you get a different coin and patch, like a matching set, to go with that firehouse. So there's a lot of people that collect challenge coins and patches. So that's kind of what started it. I think we're it's about to be a year. March makes a year. It's doing pretty well. People seem to like it. It's a lot of fun. Less products. Like it doesn't give me a headache like the burn box. I got to find like 5 things every month for the burn box. This thing is easy. It is easy. It's just one coin, one patch, man. Wow.
So I'm gonna shoot our shot here. Is our logo something that could be thrown into that FD Collectors Club? A coin and a patch?
Sure. Honestly, why not? Yeah. You'll do it for sure. Yeah. Maybe we'll work something out. Maybe we work something out where we'll run a promo. Everyone for every new subscriber or anyone who uses the Cool Fireman Podcast gets a free coin and patch or something like that. We'll do something special. Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, it doesn't have to be free. It don't have to be free. I think it'd just be cool to be in it. That'd be pretty slick. So, with that, are you still doing? Because you and I, Tom, talk at least. We don't talk as much as this, but we talk at least once a month, if not more. Are you still sending out the quarterly thin red line box too?
Oh man, so the thin red line box, yes, I think I just made a little over a year with the thin line box. That was another firefighter subscription box owned by another gentleman. He it's kind of the same thing as the burn box. I think he started a few months before me, and it's the same thing as the burn box. But he got another job. It's a lot of work running a subscription box. A lot of people don't understand that it's a lot of different vendors, and we got to get all these products delivered to the same place at the same time, and it's miserable. So I understand. He got another job, and he just wanted to make sure his subscribers were taken care of. I was already shipping out boxes, so it was an easy, I just kind of took over. So I am running the thin line box. It's not as big as the burn box, but it's the same thing. It's not. I like the thin line box because it's much less people, so I could do more firefighter owned products. So here's the thing. As I grew, when I had like 100 subscribers, I can call anybody up and get 100 products. Now I have like over 2,000 people. I can't just call and get 2,000 products. Now I got to plan this out 3 months, 6 months in advance, And even so, if you're making a tool in your garage, you know how long it'd take you to make, 2,000?
2,000. Yeah.
So as I grew, it kind of makes it tougher to work with firefighter-owned companies, which was the goal. But,
I can only imagine. I can only imagine with Israel, because you threw Crafty American, one of his hose koozies in there in a box, and he makes everything like that by hand. I can only imagine the lead time that he needed to get you those koozies.
Yeah, but he's great. Every time I reach out to him, they make it happen, man. There's a couple people I have go to. If you see a lot of products in there, oh, man, I can talk to you guys. Can we talk? All right. you get it because you guys are subscribers. People don't understand. I get so many emails. People are so upset. They're like, you have no idea how many times the day before a box goes out, something doesn't show up or something's missing, or it's like, what am I supposed to do? I have 2 days to find 2,000 or something. So I have a few vendors that I go to. Every time I call them, they pop up. Like this box that I just sent in a bag. It was supposed to be a bunch of other stuff in that. It was supposed to be other stuff, but it just didn't work out, I'm still
Axe Head Threads it seems to be one of your OGs, like, and they have pretty cool designs. Their stuff's comfortable. They seem to be pretty tight with you.
Yeah, Axe Head Threads, Firefighter owned print shop out in Indianapolis. It's just perfect. I was a fan of those guys before I even started the subscription, and it just so happens where all the boxes and stuff get packed, it's like right down the block from them. So it's just super convenient, and they're able to crank out shirts quickly. I'm definitely those guys are awesome. We actually have another Axe Head Thread, St. Patty's Day something. You'll see.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. They do a St. Patrick's Day shirt every year.
So what's the coolest item that both businesses, and actually all your 3 products, the burn box, the thin line, even in your the patch and coin collector, what's the coolest thing you've seen come across your desk that just blows your mind?
So that's in the box. I'll tell you this. There's a lot of stuff that I come across that I would love to put in the box, but I just can't because it's too expensive. So let's say there's like plenty of tools that would be great that I think people will love, but it costs too much.
Slamigan.
Slamigan. And for me to do that, I don't want to be the tool of the month. I could easily send out one tool, but I try to make it satisfying. I try to check 3 boxes. I try to make sure it's apparel. Try to make sure it's something, a tool or a piece of gear, and then a couple support items. I try to check those boxes because I don't want to be a T-shirt of the month. There's one of those out there already. I don't want to be a tool of the month. But the coolest thing, I don't know. I'm just gonna go and stick with. I think the second box, the first and second box I did. First box was Hook and Irons apparel. Those guys took a chance on me when I was calling them, and I had nothing to show for it. And those guys were like, "All right," and they, those guys, Hook and Irons apparel was a big one for me. Axe Head Threads is something really cool. As far as tool goes, I don't know, man.
Firefighter Tools of Babylon. I know you've thrown a lot of their stuff in there.
Oh yes, yeah.
Bill's a good guy.
They go by Jobtown Tools. He has a lot of stuff I just can't afford. He has great stuff. I just can't afford it, man. I just can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's just too much. But he does great. Bill is great. He has a goat wedge, which is one of my favorites. That was good. I
got that.
You got that?
Yeah, I got. Yeah.
I don't know,
I had
man.
to take it out of my pocket. That thing's so damn heavy.
So I got a real quick question. I've been over here, like, I haven't been like goofing off. I've been looking at all these websites because I'm just amazed at all this, of how you can curate this, like all these different things every month. I'm kind of just blown away looking at some of this. So, and I'm listening to you, and I'm hearing how you have to find all these products and everything. That's amazing. That's a feat in and of itself. So my question is, like, on some of these, like the thin line box, like I'm seeing where there's products like foods and it's like coffee and hot sauces and stuff like that. Do you literally like try all those? That would be a full-time job in and of itself to have to do all that. Or is it really just about saying, hey, I got, 2,500 different palettes. Maybe they'll like it. Like I'm just going to put it in there, throw a bone to the Firehouse guy.
So as far as foods, I personally haven't done foods like thin line box. The previous owner did that stuff, so I've never done it. I'm just not familiar with it, but I'm definitely gonna get something on the books with some Unky seasoning coming up. But I didn't really do foods, but I definitely try to get samples of products before I could put it in there. I tried to make sure. I'll be honest, a lot of stuff like I don't necessarily use all the stuff, but if I get something that I could see is functional and there's use for it, I'll bring it to the Firehouse. I'll try it out with some of the guys there. I try not to just put anything in there. And I try to be kind of tasteful with the boxes. Like, I don't want to put apparel that says, I fight what you fear, brother, you go running out, I go running. I try to be tasteful with all the stuff we do. I try not to put
you go, I go.
I try not to put junk in there because my subscribers, firemen, they'll tell you, man. Oh, if I show you guys some of these emails, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, man, those guys will let you have it. But there's no here's the truth. You can't make everybody happy. That's another thing. But to answer your question, I try to get samples of everything. I haven't really done too much foods. That's kind of the other guy on Thin Line Box. But as far as tools go, yeah, I have a whole box. I'm in like my man cave in the basement. I have a whole bunch of tools sitting over here that, people send me samples. And the truth is, some people, here's the thing. We're talking, right? We're friends now, right? So it sucks because sometimes people will send you stuff and it's not good. But no one wants to hear that their baby's ugly. You know what I mean? So I try, if they send me some stuff, I just tell them, hey, listen, it's just not a good fit. It's happened before. There's a lot of things that if I personally wouldn't use it or I can't see use, I don't put it in there.
I appreciate that.
I think everybody appreciates that. I mean, that goes along with the same question as like, hey, do you taste the food before you put it in? I mean, obviously, you got to put something out every month and you got to find something that, can be almost mass produced. I mean, it's like 2,200 items and that's crazy. I'm sitting here thinking like, Unky, you better start bottling some seasoning, dude. That's a lot of bottles. So, to be able to like taste and test everything, it's like, that ain't gonna happen. But I'm just sitting here listening. I know you guys are going back and forth. I'm like super this conversation's amazing. I love it. I'm super proud of you, dude. I mean, I know how hard it is. Like, you're a full-time guy, you got family. It's like, dude, to be able to do this, that's a lot of hard work, and I'm proud of you. I mean, you sounds like you're doing a really good job, and it's, hopefully, I don't know. I mean, you're going to get bigger and bigger. So good luck with it, dude. It's awesome. I love it. Good job.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And speaking of, I'll be honest, when I first started the subscription, I didn't think anybody was going to subscribe. I didn't think anyone was going to stay longer than a year. I figured, how much stuff can you put in your pocket? But I have people who've been with me for more than a year. So it's great. You're definitely humbled by it. I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like we're rolling in the dough. It's understand that this product, my box, is other people's products. It's not like I'm making the stuff. I'm getting the stuff and, kind of passing it along. But it's definitely taking it needs full-time attention. I'm on vacation now. That's why I had to make sure I got this podcast. I'm like, I got to do a podcast. I got to hop on the podcast before I go back to work. But I am working full-time in the Firehouse. I'm a newer guy in the squad company, so you know how that goes being a newer guy. Got to step up for everything, and it's definitely a tough balance. Speaking of family, it's funny when I used to pack the boxes in my house, the kids used to put toys in it. My wife got mad. We didn't have. She wanted her living room back. It was a disaster. But
no, I mean, the last thing I could say about it, Tom, like, we just met. I mean, you were on the Zoom before I even got on. And then as we've been talking, it's like the reason that there's people that are lasting a year is because you're very genuine. So like the way that you're talking about your business and the way that you talk about the products that you put into your business and the time and the effort, it really shows. And I hope that people see that, and I know they will, and they'll listen to this podcast and they're going to hear it. And like, just be that guy that says, I already said, hey, good job, and this, that, and the other. I really mean it. And you come off very genuine, and so that's why people are sticking with your product and they're loyal because of that. So, I think I've seen that a lot in the fire service, and I think you guys can concur with that. But if as long as you're an honest person, in the fire service, like, people are going to be loyal to you. And I feel like that's one of my traits, and that's why I love these guys. And, we've been talking and we chat every single day, because like, we're like loyal to our friendship. We might not get a podcast out every week, and that sucks. So we all really want to get a podcast out every week. It's just, we all got kids and families and sports and it's like wives and lives and blah, 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 and work, But loyalty is one of my most favorite parts of the fire service. Like, being like the loyalty that we have to products and the loyalty that we have to each other and all all that good stuff. So that's what you have. And I think that's why that's why you are successful. So that's just us talking for the last 45 minutes, and I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. So I truly mean it. No pun intended.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is I really do appreciate that. I appreciate you guys even having me on all that stuff. This is great. Any more questions?
Hold on to that. Hold on to that appreciation, because you've been on vacation, but you're about to go through a turnout drill, my buddy. So I need you to pick a number 1 through 25.
7.
7? All right. Are there beans in chili?
Sure.
Yes?
Yes.
No elaboration?
My man.
He likes beans.
Who's making
Yeah.
Yeah. Kidney beans, right?
There's always beans in chili.
Always.
Kidney
All right,
beans.
give me another number.
32. What you said? 25?
Yeah, 1 through 25.
Oh, 24.
24. All right. If a song could play every time you walked into the room, what would it be?
I don't know.
Pour some sugar on me.
Hold on. For those that are listening versus those that are watching, I'm a good reader of body language. Tom had one picked, but he wasn't going to say it. The Firehouse was going to say. So if you're watching, if you're listening, go back and watch it. He had one.
It was going to be Lionel Richie. Hello.
Yeah. Okay.
There it is. There's
you're looking for.
Hello. All right, give me a third. We got 2 more. Give me another number.
10.
10? Mm-hmm. What's your favorite dessert?
Ice cream. Vanilla ice cream.
Vanilla? Anything on it? Toppings? Anything like that?
Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Nothing on top.
Yeah. There's the song. There's the song.
New York.
That was it.
New York.
All right, give me one last number.
12.
12. If you had one superpower, what would it be?
I guess to fly would be pretty good. You ever had to walk up to the roof, like 17 stories?
You're just there. Fly up there.
And it was like this.
I'll get you on rescue.
Yeah, in order to be on the squad, you got to be able to fly.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, Tom, we thoroughly enjoyed this. I don't know about you. This was. I feel like I say this every time, but we are very selective of the guests that we bring on here, and it's for a reason. It's for our listeners to understand that, this is very laid back. I feel like we had great conversation. Hopefully, people learned a lot about you. They learned a lot about the Burn Box, the FD Collectors Club. You're on Instagram. You're on Facebook. Check out. You got a website. Subscription box for firefighters. It's definitely worth its weight in gold.
Yes.
Unky and I are subscribers. What do you think? What do you think, Tom? Did you have fun?
Yeah, man, have fun. I had fun. It was good talking to you guys. I feel like I'm back. Definitely, you guys said earlier, it's like being at the kitchen table. That's exactly what it felt like. So it felt natural. I can't believe it's been 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Kind of
well, and it's not a one and done by any means.
Oh yeah, I got more. Man.
When we decide to do that collab, we'll bring you back here.
Yeah. Well, let me know. We'll give away a bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? We'll do a giveaway.
Shit! We're gonna send a Milwaukee bag.
Matt and Brian, did you know that me and Brett had already been in the box?
I did not.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I was. I did. I had a recipe. So did Unky.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Was it your meatloaf or your which was it?
No, mine was the pot pie with biscuits.
Pot pie. Oh. You and I have that same pot pie recipe, kind of.
Do you?
You have the Snookums pie.
Snooky
It's
pie.
totally different.
Yeah, snooky
Yours is
pie.
Snookums. It's totally different.
The salmon mousse.
Oh my God, I haven't done the salmon.
We need to put some of that Marry Me chicken recipe in there, don't we, Matt?
Oh, Marry Me is so good. Oh my goodness. Marry Me chicken. Oof.
So good.
Oh my goodness.
I'll talk to you. I need a recipe every month, man. Drop your info.
We got you, brother.
Do it. I'll start a chat between all of us. Thank you, Tom, for coming on.
Thanks, you guys. It's a pleasure. Thanks for the conversation. Thanks for the opportunity. Hope to be back on. It's good talking to you guys.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Hey, everybody, go check out Tom. Instagram, Facebook. Check his website, Burnbox. Make sure you're a subscriber. We'll see you.
Roll it, Gigi.
Before you leave, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and give these firemen a huge thumbs up. Also, make sure you check out the coolfireman.com for more. Thanks!